Okay, so Reiki is a Japanese technique that is used to heal physical and mental trauma and support mental clarity and spiritual well-being.
Tell me a little bit about how you got started in photography and why.
Well, I knew I wanted to be a photographer since I was young. I remember at 11 years old, I took my best friend to Pawnee Park and did her senior pictures. So I feel like when I had the opportunity to start learning more about photography, I jumped all over it while maintaining a full-time job at Becton Dickinson here in Columbus. I built this business kind of on the side, in the evenings, on my days off, on the weekends. I'm kind of a workaholic. I'm married to a workaholic. So it flowed nicely with our lifestyle for me to get this rolling. As soon as I was able to go full-time with it and quit Becton Dickinson, I did so, even though that was a huge risk for our family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how long were you doing the photography before you actually went full-time then?
4 years.
4 years. And what would your words of wisdom be? Because I think there's a lot of people out there who do things on the side and they're just scared to take that leap of faith to go full time. What was your deciding factor that, you know what, this is it, this is what I want to do, and I need to move forward and do this full time?
Well, I'm a very spiritual person. So trusting that gut instinct and having that faith that you are going to succeed, and the confidence that you have the support there to succeed. And even though on the physical level, and even my husband would tell you, he didn't want to take a risk of allowing me to quit my job. He didn't allow me. I just put in my 2 weeks and I did it against his will. But it worked out in the end, and he would tell you that now. And it's kind of a inspiration to him, even at this point in his life, to look back and see how it all unfolded. But when I did need his help here and there, he was able to help me, but that's not his forte. He doesn't really like supporting other people. So I had to do it on my own. I was forced to make those commitments, those time commitments, and be on top of my game. And I did it. So best words of wisdom is to trust your gut and like be positive and be not a pessimistic, be real optimistic about your future and confident that you have that support there from God, if you want to say.
Yeah. I love that. I love that because a lot of people will jump into it and they have the family support or they have the spouse's support, where in your case, it wasn't quite like that. So you actually basically had to go out on a limb and take that risk on your own, which I'm sure looking back now, you are beyond ecstatic for doing that. It is a huge risk and it is scary, especially when you have family, especially when you have kids, you know, and insurance and things like that. My biggest thing is, you know, what people always say, well, what if? Okay, well, no, not what if. You know, if you think what if, then it's never going to happen. Because they're like, well, what if this happens? Or what if this happens? Or what if it doesn't succeed? You are the one who decides whether you're going to succeed or not. So if you have it in your mind that it's already a what if, you're not going to then. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So I love the mindset that you had, you know, I mean, it's very, because I mean, kind of going back to when I got into it, I did it full time. So I love how people take that risk, and I love how you took that leap of faith and you didn't necessarily have that support at first. So it's even a better story in my opinion. So that's amazing. That's amazing. And now I know you are just getting into Reiki. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay,
well, not now getting into Reiki. I just now got certified to practitioner with other people. So there's different levels of Reiki. And in 2018, I got attuned to be a self Reiki healer. And so that's kind of the baseline. You get attuned to do self Reiki. And then the opportunity arose for me to actually host a course here in my studio from a master coming from Omaha. And I think we had 4 or 5 students in that 2-day course, and it was very intense. And then we got placed with Holy Fire Reiki through that master, and we're able to be certified practitioners to do distant Reiki, practice on other people, and then again the self Reiki.
So honestly, tell me, I don't really know a lot about it. I was told a few things, but I don't know anything about it. So can you kind of expand on that a little bit?
Yes. Okay. So Reiki is a Japanese technique that is used to heal physical and mental trauma and support mental clarity and spiritual well-being. So in the Japanese world, Rei refers to the higher intelligence that permeates all living and non-living entities and guides the universe, like the functioning of the universe. And then Ki refers to the non-physical energy that flows through all living and non-living, or all living things. So animals, plants, human beings. So the combination of those two, Reiki, is what defines Reiki as a spiritually guided life energy force.
That's
so as
awesome.
a practitioner, we use our hands and we're able to channel that energy into the energy centers of our client to unblock any negative emotions, feelings, all of that, and just basically recharge your body with positive energy. It's incredible.
So if somebody was going to be scheduling a Reiki, one, where do they go and how do they get that scheduled?
Okay, so I actually run all of my business primarily through Facebook, and I have since 2010 when I started with Facebook. Otherwise, I have a phone number. I operate on 13th Street and 27th Avenue through both Reiki. I have a Reiki room and my studio. And what we do is we set up a time. I like an hour time slot that's best for my client's schedule. And they come in in comfy clothes, and I do have a massage table that they lay on. What's fun about, every practitioner can do it a little bit differently, but I use a tool called a pendulum that I actually read the energy centers called chakras in the human body, in my client's body, and they can see tangible evidence of the state of that chakra. So if, let's say, your energy center in the root chakra, which is at your pelvic center at the very base of your spine, I place my pendulum over that energy center, and it gives me a reading where it either stands still or it rotates in a clockwise or counterclockwise position, either slowly or it's a large circle. And from that, we can say, okay, this energy center in this body is open or closed, or it's blocked. So then after my Reiki session, we go through and reread those states of energy centers, and they can see tangible evidence of the work that was done during that session. And that's a powerful thing. Not all Reiki practitioners utilize pendulums, but it's important for my clients to have that tangible evidence.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I like I said, I never really knew anything about it. It's amazing that we have somebody here local who's able to do that. So if they schedule through you, through Facebook or your phone number, then they come into your studio. You said it's about an hour. They come in comfy clothes. Now, is it something that you just kind of, is it like a massage? Is it hover over? What are we doing?
There's no tissue manipulation at all. I prefer to place my hands on my client's body. So I always ask if they're uncomfortable with me doing so, and if so, in what areas of the body, if not all the body. And I'll do, I can do a hands-off technique also, where I just hover my hands over the body. They come in, and just like any spiritual or religious ritual or ceremony, we set the energy in the room, or we cleanse the energy in the room with what we were placed as, or we were placed with sacred symbology as a holy fire 1 and 2 Reiki practitioner. So I utilize those symbols to cleanse the space, which is the entire room, myself and the body. And then I go through a prayer asking for guidance from that source of energy that's going to fuel the whole and activate the whole healing process in these energy centers. I'm just the physical channeler.
Yeah.
Energy. But it's great that we can work together. So when the clients come in, they typically know what Reiki is about and how it's going to benefit them. So they set that intention. And if you know anything about energy work and quantum healing and metaphysics, and how we are connected to the quantum on a cellular level, you surrender to that, and as a team, we both do the channeling of the healing. Great, it's a team effort, and it's really incredible the way even I feel after every single Reiki session that I perform on other people. It's actually self Reiki for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love like you said, so your clients who go in, they probably know a little bit more about Reiki. So I'm really glad that we're doing this interview, because I don't think there's a ton of people out there who really know what this is. So hopefully they can take a little bit of information from this and schedule something, because I know that I want to schedule something with you as well. I want to give it a try. I've heard of it. I didn't know much about it. And like the center of gravity, I mean, right? It's like all that center of gravity stuff and kind of bringing your whole mind, spirit, body kind of in unison, I'm assuming.
It's creating a flow in which like stressors in our everyday life can create blocks of that flow. So we basically open that flow back up. So getting back to like the process, we bless the room, we say a prayer, we ask for divine light and protection, always. And then I go through a series of hand placements on the physical body. And I can use the pendulum. I use the pendulum to read the chakra energy centers and their states, but I can also use my hands and do a bioscan and kind of feel any type of vibrations or heat that's coming off the body. That will give me an idea of which sections of the body might need a little bit more attention when I do place my hands and do that Reiki channeling. So then I'll do like 2 or 3 swipes of the body, starting at the crown chakra. And like an example of a hand placement would be like this. This is what I would do for self Reiki, but obviously I'd be standing at the crown chakra area of my client. And then we have the third eye, and then we can go to the ears, but I work myself down to the feet, and then I'll start over if the client needs, and I'll do 2 or 3 more swipes. And then I just brush through their energetic field, all that negative energy away. And then I close the session out with another prayer, and we reread the chakras so they can see the work we've done. I like to incorporate oracle card readings. So any messages that want to come through from that energy source, they can pull a card, and I'll just kind of give them a message that way. And then I also use clear crystal quartz in their session. So I dedicate one of those crystal quartz to their session that also receives the Reiki healing. And so when they leave the session, they get to take that crystal quartz with them. And crystal quartz is powerful and contains that energy healing as they leave. So they can have it with them as they leave. And it continues.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. I'm so excited to kind of get to try this out. Lindsay, I do appreciate you being here and talking to me about your Reiki, and then obviously your photography business. Now, are those the only 2 things that you do right now? Because obviously that's a lot, but I thought you did a little bit more.
I do. I wear many hats. I got into fitness training. I'm a certified personal trainer through the American Academy of Exercise, or Council of Exercise. And I have been that since 2017. And I actually started conducting HIIT training in Platte Center in 2013. But I also really enjoy to me, it's another healing modality.
Yeah, I agree.
Motivates me to be physical. And that's another way to create that flow and get rid of it. And so that's another just something that I really enjoy doing. And I had the same client for 3 years, and that was good enough for me on the side to be able to impact her and help her. You know, it was worth getting certified and being knowledgeable to keep her safe, you know. And so if I pick up a personal training client here and there, I appreciate that. And it's something I enjoy doing.
And I appreciate, all of the information that you have given me. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, whether it's for photography, personal training, or the Reiki, the Reiki, they can go onto social media.
Okay, so on Facebook, which is my #1 social media platform, I have Inspired by Soul photography page. I have a Columbus Reiki group. So if you go into groups, search Columbus Reiki, and you can ask to be a part of my group. So you get to see all things Reiki that are coming from me. And then Thompson Fit is my certified personal training page.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lindsay. I appreciate everything, and I look forward to doing the whole Reiki thing with you. So I'll be scheduling that.